Hey, it's Miss Tempest again. I'm kind of continuing my Gold Paladin kick right now. I got another deck profile for you. This time, I think the last one was Duke and Chrome Jailer. This time around, it's going to be Duke and Garmore. And then I'll post one more, or not Duke Garmore, this is Jailer-Garmore. And then I'll post Duke Garmore after that. This deck is a lot different from the Duke Jailer. Um, I hope I can get my card in, but I don't want to get myself mixed up. Duke Jailer is got a lot more focus on just straight up power because you want to have mid game pressure to help push your opponent down to 4 or 5 damage and then just rush them with Duke. This deck's a little bit different because you want to have either Garmore to finish with the 5k boost at all times, or you want to have the Chrome Jailer ready for that 10k and a crit play. Um, so this deck has a lot more stuff in it that lets Superior call stuff from the deck. And it's also got a little bit more counterblast in it than the last deck. So you don't have to go watch the last deck. I will do this whole thing, on my own, complete thing. Yeah. So your starter is Spring Breeze Messenger. Even though there is a Black Chain starter, that card is not very good. You basically want to play Spring Breeze Messenger. Like I made all these special like Gold Paladin, like black and gold, like Gold Paladin, Shadow, Abyss Dragon like sleeves on my own, right? And then still got like the White Knights stupid stuff in it, right? But basically Chrome Jailer, despite being an Abyss Dragon, is actually really good with the White Knights. Like everything they do is just so good with his ability. Spring Breeze is no exception. What he does is when he hits, you put him into Soul, and you can check the top 3 cards, period, plus something. Just a really great card. He like trades himself for a better unit. Almost 90% of the time, he trades himself for a better unit. So, the ideal starter for this deck. Ezel is a possibility. Like honestly, any Gold Paladin deck that isn't Duke can tech like the Ezel starter, and like one Ezel on the grade 3 lineup just for the superior ride. This deck I don't like to do that as much just because there's a lot of like basically when you superior ride Ezel early, you might be wanting to get off his limit break once, so you can at least get some decent usage out of him besides him just being an early ride. And you kind of want to keep your field presence early, so that way you can like either sack it all later for Jailer, or you can keep it strong with Garmore. So I don't like using the Ezel in here. I do like using Ezel with Garmore Pelennor. I'll post a deck profile for that deck later as soon as my Pelennors come in. But yeah, for now, Spring Breeze is probably the best for a Jailer deck. Triggers, you've got 8 crit, 4 draw. You could possibly play 12 crit in this deck. I think 4 draw is kind of necessary. Since you are playing Lop-Ear Shooter, and that card forces you to discard cards like really often. I like the draw triggers instead of the crits in this deck. If you're playing Duke Garmore, I think 12 crits better than that, since almost nothing in that deck requires you to discard. So, and then last we have 4 heals. Pretty standard critical lineup. A critical heal. There's another card called Runebow. It's a stand trigger. It allows you to counterblast 1, put it into Soul, check top card of your deck, and Spirit Call it. I don't recommend that card in this deck. You can make use of it in this deck with all the pressure. I have some pretty strong grade 2 Vanguards in here, but there's not enough stuff that's worth Spirit Calling from the deck, so his skill is kind of worthless. So grade 1s, you got your 4 Gareth. Card is really good in this deck. Just a standard AK vanilla, sure, but it's just really good. 3 Kaiden. What he does is when he boosts the unit and then that unit's attack hits the Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, retire something, and Spirit Call something else. Basically, if you ever get a really bad plus off of like a Vivian or like off a Spring Breeze or like a Lop-Ear Shooter, like if you fuck up and you get a bad card, he's there to try and give you that one more play to fix the fuck up, basically. He's not an amazing card, but normally I'd be playing Nimue instead, and because his ability will activate when he boosts, that makes him a little bit more useful late game as opposed to a Nimue, which is basically only really good early game because she's a 7K and her attack has to hit instead of a boost. So that's the only reason I'm playing Kaiden. What you can do with him actually is you can actually put him behind your Garmore Vanguard mid late game, so that way if you have any like stupid stuff in your rear guards you need to kill off, you can just kill it off with Kaiden later. And there are times when you need to use his abilities, a lot of times where you don't need to use his ability. There have been games where I've gone and killed off the Dindrain for to try and hit like a grade 2 off of it, and I've hit a trigger, and then I've done it again. I've killed the trigger and I've had to call another trigger. So buyer beware when you use Kaiden. I think this is a really good card in Pelennor especially because it can help you to get Pelennor out more often. And this deck is not as strong, but I think it's still a really good card, and besides it's a 7K booster. One Tron, you can play a charge goal instead of this since we are maining Garmore. The only reason I'm not is because I want to save my soul for the Dindrain plays. And also because early game, if you don't get Garmore, you're gonna have to rely on Jailer. So there's that. And also in this deck, you're probably not gonna be calling your charge goals to rear guarded anytime soon. So what's another good reason? Oh, I remember the reason. Okay, so in Pelennor, you can get away with playing charge goal because both Pelennor and Garmore can stand, or they can't stand, but they can power themselves up. But in this deck, Jailer can't power himself up without his limit break, so I like to have Tron in here instead of charge goal. So that way I have a way to make my Vanguard 20k at all times, instead of it just being like a sometimes kind of thing. So there's that. But personal preference, you can play your charge goal if you want. Either one works really. 2 Dindrain. I'd probably play more if I had the choice, because this card is just so good. In this kind of build, since you do run 4 Garmore and it's a lot easier to toolbox and grab this out. You just get it and then you draw a card. Simple as that. And you can retire it later with Kaiden if you're feeling lucky, and then grab the better card. And then you got 4 perfect cards. Not a really hard lineup to just determine really. You don't have to play Kaiden, you can play other things, but I think Kaiden's a really good card and it shouldn't be underestimated. Alright, so for your grade 2s, this is going to be really pretty cool. I think the way I have this set up is really nice. So you got 3 Vivian, 3 Trip, and 3 Lapierre. Basically 3 of everything I've found is a perfect ratio in this deck because it lets you draw into, it gives you even likelihoods of being able to draw into one, being able to toolbox one with like Armor if you need it late game, and still being able to get away with damage checking one. You don't need to run any of these really at max since you don't really look for them, because really all these cards are needed equally as much, except for maybe the Lapierre Shooter. And the Lapierre Shooter is only at max, or only at 3, or only at more than 2, because you want to be able to hit her off of a Kaiden play. That's the only reason I run her at more than 2 right now, because you want to hit off a Kaiden or Chrome Jailer or even Vivian. So normally what you do is turn 2, this will be your ideal ride, and then you use Spring Breeze to boost this, and then you use Spring Breeze to search, and then you unflip. Or you play this, and then you use Spring Breeze with this, and pay 1 with her, and get a free card. And then if you have an extra damage, you pay 1 with Spring Breeze and get another free card. Whatever, you know. They're just really good cards, and they put in a lot of pressure. And why I say 3 is a perfect ratio is because you don't exactly need to draw both of them. You just need to draw one or the other to make your Spring Breeze go off, and then you can toolbox whatever you need late game with Garmore. If you have a bunch of open damage and you don't have Chrome Jailer in hand, or you don't have second Garmore, get this girl and get more free cards. Or you could even get a Lapierre off Garmore and then maybe use her to grab her, or a Kaiden even, and use your damage. But if you have a second Garmore in hand, the ideal play would probably be to get your Dindrain off your first Garmore and then draw cards, and then when you ride the second Garmore, you grab her, so now you have 4 face down damage. You want to be able to unflip one when you play Chrome Jailer. So I like 3 of everything because it gives you the high likelihood of being able to draw at least one of these per game, and still being able to toolbox one while one gets damage checked. So, and then you may want to know my last 2 cards. Well, if you've seen my other videos, then you already know what they are. They're the 2 Blaster Spirits. They're amazing cards. They're totally underrated, I think. Um, they're just basically 10k beat sticks. People complain that they die as soon as they get touched. But really, in this deck, you're just gonna be sacrificing them for a Kaiden or Chrome Jailer anyway, and you're probably going to just be interacting with them. So the fact that they die from one touch, not really that big a deal, because it means that your opponent still wastes a rear guard attack on them. So not that big a deal. All it means is like, okay, your opponent has a free K, like a 6k grade one up here, like that they had, you would kill if their interceptor, let's say. They could just move that forward and kill it. Like no big deal. They're probably just gonna wait on trigger anyway. It's really not the big a deal. I think I like the 10k base of these guys, and their effect's just too good. Like another thing I like to do with this deck is because you have Garmore in here, you can Garmore into one of these two and then toolbox it out and then kill something for just a counterblast one. So normally you could do like counterblast 2 for Garmore, grab Din Drain, soul blast 1, draw 1. That's an inherent +1. This is also an inherent +1 when you do it because it's a -1 for your opponent unless you kill off one of their interceptors. I really like these cards. Spoiler alert, my Palinor build, I'm playing actually 2 of each because I think it's that good with Garmore. In this deck, I can't afford to play more than 1 of each because I need to play these for damage and flipping. But I do think the Blaster Spirit's really good. I play them over Bowmains any day in Gold Paladins. That's a lie. In Ezel, I wouldn't, and Platinum Ezel and all the Ezel decks, I would play with Bowmains over that, only because of Superior Ride and because Platinum takes 3 counterblasts. But in any other variant of Gold Paladins, Blaster Spirits are really good cards, and I'd play them over with Bowmains if I were you. Alright, last of the cards are grade 3s. You just got 4 Chrome Jailer. Its ability lets you Persona Blast, Counterblast 1, discard 1, and then you get to check top 4 cards of your deck and Spirit Call up to 2 cards. So it really helps you digging for your toolbox and stuff. Vivian and Kaiden are check 1, which are like the worst. But then if you check a Lopier off of that, then you get to check 3 more. And like this guy lets you dig for 4. And then if you get like a Dindrin or Lopier off that, that's 3 more cards you get to check. It really adds up. So normally when you play this deck, that's the only reason I play 3 Lopiers for this guy's ability, because it lets you dig through 7 cards basically to look for more free stuff. And yeah, you're Persona Blasting for this guy, you're discarding 1 for Lopier Shooter, but it's still really good, especially if you like just Limit Broke with his ability, or if you have like an empty field, or if you have like 2 rear guards and you just get 1, 2, and then you Lopier into the 3rd one. It's pretty good. And the last card is 4 Garmore. Normally, it doesn't matter which one of these is on your Vanguard Circle late game. Garmore is usually the better choice because he's an auto. Give 5k for free, whereas he is kill 2, counterblast 2, and gain 10k and a crit. But if you know your opponent doesn't have any perfect guards, this is a really good finisher as well because the crit will definitely force the damage in. So, this deck has a lot of synergy. These 2 cards work really well together. I find, especially with Lopier in here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I think I like this deck a lot. Probably my favorite Gold Paladin build right now. I do like Duke a lot, but this is quite powerful. That's not true. I do think Duke is the better build only because it's the better card. But as a deck, I think Duke is the best. But as a Gold Paladin deck, I think this deck probably best represents the archetype. Either that or Garmore Palinor. Because this deck is really strong and it can get your toolboxy stuff going off. The only problem is there's so many counterblasts. You have to physically have to play Trip in order to make it work. So, yeah. Anyway, I really enjoy the deck. I hope you do too. If you like the video, please be sure to like it. And if you want to see more, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And if you have any questions, please be sure to comment or suggestions or whatever. Just be sure to comment below. Yeah, thank you for watching.